Last time on Dungeons and Kuroninja, our main characters got fully healed and had an encounter with the Second Legion on their way out of Idol City. Mayu and Keien then got trapped near a monolith structure, and so it was up to Ryuga and Rei to save them from a wizard who captured them. After defeating the wizard's cyber ninjas, the two of them saved Mayu and Keien and found a map of the Konoki forest, which might help them find the miracle shard. Now, before we begin the next scene, the main characters have now reached level 2. Hopefully this means that losing hit points won't be a big problem. For every level up, the characters will get 10 power points that can be spent to upgrade abilities, skills, and powers that they already have, but they can also spend those power-ups to unlock new powers. So I'm going to give a brief rundown of the upgrades I've given them. First off, Ryuga has been taking most of the hits, and considering he's got the lowest AC, I've decided to give him Second Wind, an ability used by fighters in traditional D&D games. This ability makes sense considering he's supposed to be the hot-headed Red Ranger who never gives up. Next up is Keien. I had no idea what new powers to give him, so I just upgraded his teleportation ability so he can now use it twice per long rest instead of once. I wanted to give Rei some new spells to use, but I couldn't think of anything, so I gave her Eldritch Sight, and now she can cast Detect Magic at will. And lastly, we've got Mayu Sakuragi. Since her build is supposed to be like a paladin, I upgraded her Healing Hands ability so I don't have to rely on finding healing NPCs or health potions. And I gave her an ability where allies within 10 feet of her get a +1 bonus to their AC during combat. Even with those upgrades, all of these characters have more than 10 power points that haven't been spent, so if you have any ideas for new powers or stats I should try upgrading for the next episode, feel free to put your suggestions in the comments. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Alright, so from where we last left off, the party has gotten back together and they just left the wizard tower. All 4 of them are now back on the path to the Konoki forest, but before they can get there, something happens. Let's see what it is. Alright, so I looked at the table, and from what I rolled, I think in the last episode, Mayu was told that the 46th Legion were ready to take matters into their own hands. And as the party leaves the Wizard Tower and continues on their way to the Konoki Forest, they enter a checkpoint that was just set up. The guards in this checkpoint look like the soldiers of the 2nd Legion encountered last episode, but their uniform is a different pattern. There are a lot of 46th Legion soldiers in this checkpoint. Let's see what these guys do. I'm expecting them to be obstacles in our adventurer's way, but let's see what the dice have in mind. The 46th Legion soldiers stand in the adventurer's way. One of them, a lieutenant, approaches the adventurers and tells them that they've heard rumors of some vigilantes from Idol City. The lieutenant believes that the vigilantes have left Idol City and he wants to bring them to justice. And now, the 46th Legion has built checkpoints everywhere. The lieutenant is suspicious of the party and wants to search them. But let's see if Mayu is able to reason with the 46th Legion. Mayu is able to convince the 46th Legion soldiers that she and the others in the party are not worth an inspection. She even tells them that she's training to become a member of the 1st Legion. Considering the rumors that the leader of the 46th Legion is trying to overthrow the leader of the Council of 48, the 46th Legion believes that it's best not to interfere with what they think is the 1st Legion's business. Now in the clear, the party passes through the checkpoint, but this probably won't be the last we see of the 46th Legion. The party has been walking on this path for a long time and they're getting tired. There should be an inn on the way to the Konoki Forest, but does the scene happen as expected? The party continues walking and they see a small village with an inn. Ryuga decides that the party should check out the inn. The inn is called the Green Wasp and it has a sign on the front with its name on it, right next to a picture of a green wasp. The inn is full of people, so the party decides to take advantage of this break. Keien goes to the bar and gets a drink. Ryuga and Mayu look around for any useful information regarding the miracle shard, and Rei sits in the darkest corner of the room to review her spells. The bartender is a guy named Ace who seems to have had some experience in adventuring himself. Behind him is a display shelf with some trophies and a fox mask. Ryuga and Mayu walk around the tavern until they are called by a woman in a black dress. She introduces herself as Selene Tsukino and says that she assumed the 2 of them are adventurers. Tsukino says that she is a sage looking for adventurers strong enough to fight against Omega Orionis, and she believes that those adventurers should be at this inn at any moment now. Ryuga wishes her good luck with her search. As she walks away, Ryuga thinks he sees something. Ryuga notices that Tsukino carries a sheathed sword under her cloak. It seems like she is not only a sage, but also a swordswoman. But before the 2 of them can discuss things, a group of people enter the bar. Keien takes a drink of melon soda when the door opens. He then sees 4 people enter. He recognizes a few of them and realizes that these are the enforcers sent after him to collect his debt. The interdimensional crime syndicate has followed him all the way here. Leading the small group is a guy wearing a robe. who seems to be a lieutenant. This is Metis, a very powerful enforcer who took the job because of his bloodlust. The enforcers block the exit, and Metis goes, "Alright everyone, is there anyone in this building named Keien? You better show yourself, or else." Metis then grabs an empty glass from one of the tables and crushes it with his fist. Now here's the thing, Keien just wants to keep a low profile, so he's not gonna try anything heroic. Neither is Rei, she's evil. But Ryuga and Mayu are very heroic, so as soon as Metis starts threatening patrons, the two of them jump out ready to fight. Rei, who is still in the corner, notices that Ryuga's about to fight, giving her a reason to join the fight against Metis. Keien realizes that there are still other guys besides Metis, and he believes he stands a fighting chance against one of those guys. Right before the fight begins, Ace cuts in and tells everyone that if they want to fight, they should take it outside, and so the interdimensional crime syndicate guys in the party head out. Ryuga and Keien both henshin, Mayu idolizes, and Rei does her dark metamorphosis. But they're not the only ones who can transform. Metis reveals a transformation belt under his robe. He takes out some kind of ID card and inserts it in a slot on the belt. Then the belt starts glowing. Metis grabs the lever on his belt, and before pulling it, he says, "Henshin!" A bunch of flashing red lightning bolts strike his area, and after a violent surge of smoke and red sparks, Metis has now transformed into an edgy-looking armored warrior. It's time to roll initiative. Okay, so it looks like Ryuga Momose will go first. He charges at Metis and hits him with his club. Ryuga hits Metis with his club, dealing only a few damage to him. Keien then gets out his crossbow and fires a shot at one of the guys. The bolt almost hits the guy, but he blocks it. Metis is now ready for his attack. He gets out his jagged scimitar and attempts to slash Ryuga with it. The jagged blade cuts through Ryuga's armor, dealing some damage to him. Fortunately, he has gotten stronger since the party left Idol City, so it doesn't severely hurt him. Rei Shirasaka sees Ryuga getting attacked and rushes to help him. She stands in between Metis and two of the guys and casts Arms of Darkness. Everyone in this area is gonna have to pass a DC 15 saving throw. A bunch of tendrils burst out from Rei before dealing damage to the two guys. Metis tries to block the attack, but he's not fast enough. These guys now can't take reactions until the next turn. But now it's Mayu's turn. She decides to focus her attention on the guy Keien was trying to shoot with a crossbow. She gets out her claymore and slashes the guy. The guy is almost down. He was going to try and respond to Keien's attack, but Mayu is the one closest to him. He gets out his club and swings it at Mayu, and since he's near his allies, he has advantage on this attack. The attack is blocked by Mayu with her claymore. While Metis is focused on Ryuga, the other two guys set their sights on attacking Rei with their clubs. This is bad. Rei Shirasaka has been taken out by both of their attacks, but there's no time to worry about her yet because it's now the second round. Ryuga hits Metis again with his club. Ryuga swings at Metis, but he dodges quickly. Keien then decides to help out with a shot from his crossbow at one of the guys who knocked out Rei. The bolt goes right through him and hits a barrel, taking him down easily. Metis attacks Ryuga with his jagged scimitar again, but this time, Ryuga uses his acrobatics to dodge the scimitar's blade before it hits him. Rei Shirasaka makes a death save and fails. Mayu Sakuragi is reluctant to save Rei with her healing powers, but first she has to take out the guy she's fighting. She swings her claymore again. Mayu finishes the guy off with her claymore, taking him down. Now only two enemies remain. With Rei defeated, the last guy standing focuses on Keien and fires at him with his own crossbow. Thanks to Keien's drunken fist ability, this guy is disadvantaged. Despite the disadvantage, the crossbow bolt manages to strike Keien. Now it's time for round 3. Ryuga tries to hit Metis with his club again. Ryuga swings his club very hard and hits Metis in the face, leaving behind a small crack on his visor. Keien responds to the guy who shot him with a crossbow bolt of his own. Keien takes the guy out with a crossbow shot, and now Metis is the only one left. However, now that he's been reduced to less than half his HP, his rage ability has been activated. Metis attacks Ryuga twice, and here's where things get worse. Metis has another ability, Blood Frenzy, which gives him advantage on attacks targeting anyone who's not at full HP. Metis cuts through Ryuga with both slashes from his jagged sword. But despite this, Ryuga is still standing. Rei makes another death save, and fails again. Mayu decides that now is the time to heal Rei. She rushes over to her and uses her healing hands to restore some of Rei's HP. Rei only has 4 of her hit points restored, but that's better than nothing. She gets up and sees Ryuga getting slashed by Metis. It's now the 4th round of combat, and Ryuga needs to fight back. He gets out his club and hits Metis with it. The club hits Metis, dealing some damage. It looks looks like Metis is almost down. Ryuga decides to be safe, so he uses his second wind ability to recover some of his hit points before ending his turn. Keien decides to take advantage of the fact that Metis is now at low HP. He moves to a place where he has a better shot at him and fires his crossbow. The bolt goes right through Metis and hits a wall, taking him down. Metis falls to the ground and untransforms right in front of Ryuga, who turns around and sees Keien pointing the crossbow. Rei drinks her health potion and gets some of her HP back. She then turns around and thinks that she saw someone. Rei thinks she saw Selena Tsukino observing the fight from a distance. She knows her as one of her colleagues, but has no idea what she's doing in this village. Mayu checks Metis' pulse. Is he dead? Mayu confirms that Metis has died. His unhealthy bloodlust has taken its toll on his body, and so has his use of the transformation device. Another armored warrior has been watching the battle unfold. She is the underboss of the Interdimensional Crime Syndicate, and she leaves the area, ready to give her report to whoever is the leader. Okay, so now is a good time for the party to rest. The party will now take a long rest since they're already at an inn and they are now back to full HP. It also seems like now is a good time to end this episode. In the next episode, the adventurers will arrive at the Konoki Forest where they will hopefully find the Miracle Shard. What awaits our main characters as they travel through this forest? We shall find out in the next episode of Dungeons and Kuroninja.